Hello, guys. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me today. Today, I'm not gonna play the whole intro because we have a dope project that I want you guys to understand and listen and figure out how did this happen? Why did this happen? What's the reason behind this project? So, thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody that showed up. But let's get started. You guys know this man. If you guys don't know this man, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing with your life. He's known for always trying to make everything lighter than a feather, as cheapest as possible, but at the same time, badass, great quality, and a dope product. We got Heywood, you, Buzz Off.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing great, doing awesome.
Man against the masses, bro. Sorry about that. Check your earbuds, bro. And we got somebody that you guys know. Somebody that I don't know how he does his CAD design. This guy works nonstop. At the same time, he is a degenerate, but he's a good degenerate. Durbin Poison. What's up, bro?
Woohoo!
Okay,
You
all
do
right,
need this
guys.
soundboard, man, because Durbin needs like a little round of applause thing by joining.
Always.
Like
For
Always.
reals.
twice in a row almost. Yeah.
All right, so for everybody that doesn't know who these people are, all their stuff is linked down below. I got Heywood Buzz Off stuff. All his stuff is down below. Durbin's Poison stuff is down below. But go ahead, Heywood, introduce yourself and let the people know who you are, what you do, and how they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm just a person just like you guys. I like guns. I like printing guns. I got into this a couple of years ago. I don't know how many years ago. I have one printer. I don't know CAD. That's Durbin will talk about that a little bit later. You can do a whole heck of a lot of crap in Tinkercad. Don't let anybody give you any hate for that. But someday I'll learn a real thing. And this all got started because I bought this Mac upper from MAF, and it took 11 months to get. I don't know if you guys remember in the whole pandemic thing. It was like wind chime kit, awesome, cool. I was printing an Evo, thinking, man, I could just go down to my gun shop and buy one of those bolts, right? That was my first build,
Yeah,
and I bought this Mac, and it took like a year. When it showed up, it was like, oh my gosh, the mail came. It was like amazing. So why the DIY thing and why this all went was I thought that maybe there's some better ways that we could do this, like hardware store stuff, building it ourselves, trying things out. And we're standing on the shoulders of like these awesome designs for like the Poison Sumac design is like really awesome and cool. And then the mac and cheese, and I did the Mac Daddy and built all of those, and they're awesome designs. It's like the one
correct.
missing piece is this expensive part. So what can we do to bring that down to everybody's level?
All right. So now, Durbin, let the people know who you are, what you do, and how did this all happen? Like how did you and Haywood start talking? How did this crazy collab happen, bro?
So Heywood, I said my printer's down. Like Heywood started following me, and I started following him. And like my printer went down a while ago. And I had a bunch of designs I needed out, and I was like, if anyone can test for me, let me know. And he volunteered himself. Yep, those right there, the Triforce. Those things are.
Okay.
That was a really fun process, and Heywood honestly made that process. Like he had little suggestions. Like you're like an ideal tester, dude. I will say that. Bringing like his own little spin to it and making it better. Um, but it all kind of started because Heywood uses Tinkercad, and Tinkercad is like it's good for a lot, but it's frustrating for a lot too.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
what was it? It was that piece that holds
It was this
the
Trunnion.
no, yeah, but it was a specific piece of the trunnion that you were stuck on. I think it was the
Threads.
part that goes through. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was the threads.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. And like threads are kind of my thing.
All right,
Well,
man.
that
So
that was the crazy part too. When I first did that Triforce, the crazy part is when Durbin built this first Triforce and like sent me the file. you know, I'm like, oh, well, shoot, man, I don't know how well I'll print this. What settings are on. I screwed it in, and it stopped. Boom, perfectly, straight up. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I don't ever do that with anything. It's like, you know, sixth try it works, you know? So
Mhm.
that was super impressive. So that's why when I had issues, I'm like, dude, can you help me out? Can you show me what's
Okay,
going on? That's why I hit him up.
so I have a question for you, Haywood. I know a lot of people that do a lot of designing on Tinkercad, right? And sometimes I'm like, bro, like, because I tried Tinkercad in the beginning, and it was easy. It wasn't as hard as it was, but once I got into Fusion 360, I was like, damn, Fusion is a whole different type of beast. But I know there's a couple of homies like Push PLA. He does a lot of work on Tinkercad, and a couple of other homies. Sorry if I'm not mentioning names right now, but you know how I am. I just had a Red Bull, ADHD, dyslexia. Shit is crazy. But how did you start with Tinkercad, bro? Like you just always use Tinkercad, or
No,
how did that happen?
I had a goofy idea when I was building that ultra lightweight 1022. I had a goofy idea that what I wanted to do was print it and put an optics mount on the top. So I wanted a Romeo Zero to go on the top of this, and I was like, okay, how do I take Ivan's receiver and do that? Well, what can I upload an STL to? And so just so everybody's clear, I'm not
Yeah,
saying Tinkercad is like the bomb and everybody should learn it. I'm saying you can be a knucklehead and know nothing like me and
yeah,
get something out of it. You're
correct.
gonna need something else if you want to do, like, if you look at Durbin's fractal stuff. I have no idea how you'd ever be like the god of Tinkercad and even get that out of there. So
For reals.
I'm just saying you can start really easy. So I
Yeah,
started, hey, what do I need to do that? What can I slice this piece off of an STL and modify that and cut the site out of something else and all that, you know. So it was just basically a easy tool for job.
correct. And I mean, and like I said, like you said, you could do anything with Tinkercad, especially if you're new and you're trying to get into CAD. Try Tinkercad. I mean, try Fusion, try different CAD programs and see which one you like best. As long as you're trying to do design work and you're trying to do something in the community, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so then you and Durbin ended up colliding and creating this do-it-yourself Mac project, right?
Yeah.
Now, explain to the people what this do-it-yourself Mac project consists of and what it is.
So there's a couple of different options that we're looking at. If you don't know kind of how a Mac works, this is your Mac upper, and you got two cool things. Number one is you can do a top charger or a side charger. So this is the side charger. That's a top charger, and every Mac bolt has, almost every Mac bolt. This one's from Aves. This bolt has a top and a side. This one has a top and a side as well. So I'm like, okay, well, if I got a bolt, what can I do? What else do I actually need to get something out of this? And then I started saying, well, I need a barrel. And then I need something to mount that barrel in. So I started messing around with just printed trunnions and measuring, you know, using my calipers and measuring stuff. I started measuring this steel, and it was all over the place. It was like, it was not one dimension. In fact, this was from MAF, and it's like different. It's thicker on the rear than it is on the front. It's kind of a little bit messed. But I looked at all of it, and I said, well, what's the dimension of this bolt? And
Okay.
I hit up 3D printed guns, 3D printed freedom, and he's like, hey, that's 1 inch. I'm like, okay, well, what's the threads? And he walked through what the threads are for me. What I did is I just jumped out on Alibaba and I found a piece of carbon fiber that was that size. So back in August, I said, hey, I'm going to do a project for it. I'm going to try it out. So I just grabbed my Mac and I just started doing a little bit of overlay and cutting that out, seeing what that cutout looks like. And then I actually made it into a 3D printed piece to where then I can just go and I can transfer that onto my tube mark that out, cut that out.
Damn.
I got 3102A has a top charger. So I said, well, dude, what's the side look like for yours? Just to see. So I got that cut out. I got a bottom as well cut out. But turns out I did this one as a top charger. There's a side hole. And the cool part is we don't need all the cutouts for a regular Mac, for like a metal Mac, because we don't have a fire control group up front. We have this narrow little fire control group that comes in here in our mac and cheese. So this just has the narrow little cut for that to fit in there. So that's how that all started, was kind of like, is it possible? Let's take a step. We took a step forward. It was possible. So we took another step. Where it all kind of stopped was I bought a piece of aluminum from Amazon, and I was going to file this thing down. And Matt said, like, well, hey, dude, I got access to a CNC machine.
Yeah.
How about I CNC that for you?
Okay, so let me ask you a question really quick.
Yeah.
With all that cutting that you were doing for that carbon fiber piece, were you doing that cutting by hand? Like everything was done by hand?
So
Dremel,
I did it with the Dremel.
Dremel? Damn, bro.
It's totally easy.
And how precise did it get to the measurements? Like, is it almost OEM like precise, or?
So the crazy part of a Mac is the Mac seems very American.
Yeah.
The dimensions are kind of good, but they're kind of loose. So things are
definitely
a little out there.
Damn.
So,
they're all different.
Yeah. When I hit
Like
up
every
Durbin,
manufacturer.
though, yeah. If you measure them, they're all different. When I hit up Durbin, I needed to CAD this thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it in Tinkercad, and I had Fusion 360. So then I hit him up. So why don't you like take it away, man, and just tell him like the next couple of steps?
I think the trippiest part about making the aluminum one was like what the mil spec said versus like what when we were measuring your actual Trunnion, and like where the piece that strikes the threads to the barrel retaining pin goes, it was like drastically different. Like not, I guess it's drastic in CAD, but like I mean, like it's not that much, but it was like, well, how far off was it? Okay, what it was like a decent amount, right?
Yeah, it was quite a bit. And the funny thing is, we have such a crazy community of people. Matt's a machinist, so he's like, it's 0.0071 off.
Oh yeah, like, yeah,
dude. That'll probably work.
15/100ths. That's what he said. Yeah. Yeah, it was like,
no, it was 35 thousandths or something, and it was kind of like
something crazy. Yeah.
I mean, to every machinist and every precise person on like watching this, I sound like a total idiot, and I'm fine sounding like an idiot because I think it'll work.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kept going with different designs. So the first design here, I'll kind of put it together.
Okay.
So this is the standard. The cool part about the way that all this works, that Middleton made all this work, is the angles of things lock things together.
Yeah,
so
Middleton designs, his angles are amazing.
Yeah, I can't pull that out until I pull that bolt out because the angle kind of locks the dovetail in. So it's kind of a really strong design. So we started saying, well, what could we do to redesign that front end to where we could put this together? And I'm going to grab a Trunnion. And we said, what could we do to put this together where we could use like the aluminum Trunnion, or no Trunnion at all, sorry.
Correct.
Slide that dude in.
Deez Nuts.
And then just actually use a front printed component. So we've just printed that. It just has a cutout. I haven't printed this in nylon yet, but I'm going to be printing that and then shooting that to try it out. Then the second one we tried was, we said, well, what could we do if we took that aluminum Trunnion and we actually slid it into one of these things that Durbin built in Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice and tight, so I just have to get everything all straight to get it in there.
So
my tolerances are pretty tight.
So the do-it-yourself Mac is just gonna be the upper, right? And you guys are gonna, and then you could use Middleton Maid's mac and cheese lower, or are you guys gonna
Use any
everything's
mac and cheese lower. In fact, two of
so
them will take a metal mac. Yeah, so
wow.
this takes this metal right in there. So you'd have that metal in there, and then you bring that in and drop that in. This one's
So,
not super tight yet, but it will be.
so it truly is a do-it-yourself Mac 11. Like you could take any part that you have or that you could find, and you could just pretty much in a way kind of like Frankenstein it, but it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is that same front.
Yes and
Go
no.
ahead, Durbin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like it's not quite that simple. Like you do have to pick
Yeah.
an avenue. Like
okay,
but the whole point of this, like a thought that's been in my head the whole time is like a Professor Parabellum book, like a bunch of different ways to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as do it yourself as you can, or as not do it yourself as you want.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for both of you guys, right? Why did you guys decide to go with this project, with a do-it-yourself project? What was the reason behind that for you guys? Like, how did you guys come up with the idea? Because I know a lot of people are either saying, well, you gotta get the metal parts, or you could print it, or you could actually just buy the upper. Why did you guys say
can
let's do
always
it?
buy parts? Like
Yeah.
we can always buy parts. There's a bunch of parts we can't buy. Like I told you, my first build, I was trying to build an Evo, and I still haven't been able to buy any of those parts. You know, so if anybody out there has them, I'll take it. You know, but you can basically always buy stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't get into this because I couldn't buy stuff. Like
Correct.
I got into this because I wanted to make kind of cool stuff that's different. So, you know, I wanted a bougie carbon fiber Mac.
Correct.
Yeah, bespoke Mac.
I got this carbon fiber print. I wanted this like bougie carbon fiber thing, gleaming and all this kind of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why I got it started. But then as we started going, we talked to like 1776 and heard about the 3D printed upper that they're working on, and this is the Trunnion for that. And then we said, well, why can't we come up with a design that would like work with that Trunnion as well? So that's actually what this one does. This works with that Trunnion. I forgot where my upper is. Yeah, let's use another piece of carbon fiber tube. So that dude just locks in there, and then this one locks in the top. And Durbin's working on a cooler design for this, but that locks that 1776 Trunnion in there to where you can use this carbon fiber tube, cut it up as top, or as a top charger, or as a side charger. And then the last like crazy one that we have is actually called Deez Nuts.
My favorite. Yeah.
Oh, Deez Nuts is actually all that you need, because you have some really cool things with this regular Mac barrel. There's a couple different Mac barrels out there. This is like a super Sharpie, right? That has 1/2 by 28 threads, and then these threads here are 5/8 by 18. So you have 5/8 by 18 threads on the rear, and then you have 3/4 by 10. This is the old Mac had this huge suppressor. The Mac was actually built, if you watch the whole Forgotten Weapons, to like sell the military the suppressor. It wasn't for the gun. So
the whole idea, was the suppressor originally. Yeah.
So you got these threads, and you just get a grade 8 bolt. And the cool part is, actually, if you back these off like 2.5 millimeters, it's perfect.
Yeah. What?
That way we can make this stronger here. You take this big old nut that's 3/4 by 10, and you do that on the front. So what you're going to see, Durbin's working on this, is a front piece like that for the mac and cheese. It actually is 2 parts that screws together using the nuts.
Correct.
And it has a dovetail to lock them in.
Damn.
So then you lock that whole piece up, and then you put a dovetail down through the bottom. So the cool part is, for $5, a barrel and a bolt, you can have a Mac.
What?
Or if you want to live dangerously, you
Yeah.
can print the whole front end and do it in carbon fiber and like not shoot more than maybe whatever's going to heat it up too much.
Yeah.
Or you could have, hey, I got a 1776 Trunnion. I want to use it for something else. What can I do? Boom, use that. Or if you got a piece of metal around, some dude built this out of copper. This
Okay.
one's out of aluminum. You could do that. So it's like choose your own adventure, man.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it's
Durbin came up with.
so it's truly uh like unlimited mission, pretty much. Whatever mission you want to take, whatever path you want to go, you're able to choose that path. You're able to spend as much money as you want, or you're able to save as much money as you want. And I think that's amazing, bro, because now the community could choose whatever they want, right? They could choose to make it out of scratch. Like you said, you were able to get those carbon fiber things from Alibaba, and then you just get those nuts that I'm pretty sure you could get at any hardware store, or you could have the other piece machined by somebody, or you could buy it from 1776. So whatever floats your boat, now you guys could do whatever you want, and it's up
One
to you.
second.
Go ahead.
If more manufacturers had a more standardized, like we've talked to quite a few people that are manufacturing stuff, and like they are consistent, but there is some major differences in them as well. And like that's honestly probably, in my opinion, why Mac parts are so hard to get.
Okay.
Like so like, but if you guys are a manufacturer, and you guys have a barrel or something, like send us your dimensions so that we can incorporate it into this. Because we're not trying to just limit it with what we have already. We're trying to do as many avenues as we can.
Totally, and
That's
everything
crazy.
is kind of like the software development open source ethos. So all of these, like the measurements for them, if you want to recad them, you can.
Damn.
The STLs, if you just want to mess with the STLs, you can. All that stuff's there. Now, like guys like 1776 have said, hey, we might be like making laser cut carbon fiber tubes for this.
Correct.
That's bitching. That's
Yeah.
cool. Because that laser cut one is going to be a heck of a lot better than my Dremel in the garage.
Correct.
That one's pretty
correct.
good though.
Right?
That one is pretty good though.
Yeah, you know. But the coolest part about it is like you can be dude with a Dremel in the garage, or you know you can buy it. And I know there's a lot of like stuff that comes out of the car community and stuff that's like built not bought, or you know all that stuff. It's like, dude, life's too short to get on people's wavelengths. Totally, let them do what they want to do.
Correct.
This is the opposite of you have to do it this way and da 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 da. This is the opposite of my other goofy project, which is the 3D printed bolt, because people are idiots and they'll put lead in there instead of tungsten.
Correct.
And they'll blow their face off. It's like, so, yeah, that's why that's not released, is because idiots have done idiot stuff.
Damn.
But this is like, hey, it's a Mac. It works.
Yeah, it's a Mac. It works. You could choose how you want to make it, and it's kind of idiot proof, right?
Yeah.
Yes and no, but most importantly, you can build it based on your budget.
Correct.
And
correct.
I think that's important.
So I mean, it's kind of like Oprah, right? You get a Mac. You get a Mac. Everybody gets a Mac. Look under your chairs. There's a Mac for everybody, which is really dope, because I think that's what the community needs to understand, that a lot of the times what matters is just to get as many guns as out there. Allegedly, I'm not a lawyer, but just to have fun with it, right? To have fun, spend money on whatever you want to spend money and however you want to spend your money. But at the same time, you have an option, and you could choose to buy it. You could choose to have somebody machine it for you, or you could choose to do it yourself. You get everything you want, and I think that's amazing. Now, let me ask you something, man. Did you know how big of a game changer this was going to be when you decided to do it, or you guys just thought, we're just going to do something for fun? How was that process when you guys were making this? Did you guys realize how big this was going to be? Because this thing is big. People don't understand it right now, but this thing is big, bro. Like, everybody's going to have a Mac 11. Like,
I don't understand it either then, maybe, but I'll tell you, our community is just like awesome. So I just wanted one, and it was like, I saw Alibaba had like 3 feet of carbon fiber tube, and it looked like it might work, and it was $15, $15 with only $15 shipping, and it was going to be here only in a month and a half. So I was like, I bought it, and it's like, whatever. So I just wanted to do it. And then the coolest part was once I said, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I put it out there, people came to me. So like Matt just hit me up and said, dude, I saw that you are trying to get this together.
Yeah.
Do you want somebody to see it? And he did one for Durbin too. Like if you got machining stuff, hit that dude up. He's on our Instagram, mslow499 or whatever. But hit that dude up. And then I was showing this to somebody else or whatever, and then the 1776 dude just called me up and said, hey, do you want to see if it'll fit with one of our Trunnions? And I'm like, I guess, and Durbin is like, we go back and forth all the time with, new ideas and, hey, how about this? Hey, how about that? He always wants to make it more cyberpunk,
Always.
Hell yeah.
Matt's Instagram is MSLAUG499.
MSLAUG499.
Isn't it 2A3D, something like that?
No. This is someone else.
Okay, different Mac.
There's a lot of people that make Mac stuff.
For real?
A lot of people that make Mac stuff.
Yeah, so kind of back to that. That was one of the deals is you can buy these barrels like all over the place. They're not single sourced. Nobody's going to buy them all up from one place.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. You can find these. I found them for $59 to $160 online.
Okay, so somebody
are the bolts. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Somebody has a question. They're saying, when you change trunnions, do you have to change the bullet ramp or angle?
So that's all in the lower.
But
that it shouldn't affect that.
It is. There is an interface difference. So the interface difference, because what's going on is the trunnion is holding your barrel perpendicular to your bolt. And your bolt, the Mac bolt works like an Uzi bolt. It actually covers up part of the barrel. So where's my other? The Mac barrel actually goes inside that bolt there.
Oh.
And it's covering it up. So you can see you got just a little bit of threads here because the Mac bolt needs to hit simultaneously. It needs to kiss this face here of the chamber, and it needs to kiss the trunnion. Now, the thing that you're talking about is the angle of this barrel. This barrel can be negative angle and still work partially, but it might not actually fire. This barrel cannot be a positive angle or it will interface to the bolt. So it has to be pretty much nuts on to be able to make it. If it makes it past here, this is going to lock it all up. The spring tension and then the weight of this bolt. This is 460 grams, so it's half a kilo almost.
Okay.
So that weight is really holding that thing up, and that's what's doing it. Is that what the question was, or did I go off on like a different tangent?
No, I think that's what they were trying to ask, but at the same time, it just depends on the lure that you choose to build.
Yeah,
right?
because I think they're talking about the mac and cheese, or the aluminum feed ramp, and how like some designs have that and some designs don't.
Well, yeah. So the mac and cheese has a feed ramp here, right in the design, but it's interesting. Like Digital Nimbus has done this 5.7.
Yeah.
And this 5.7 actually does not have a feed ramp. So let's see if I can pull this. There's no feed ramp. It's empty. So this 5.7 has supposedly works. I haven't shot this one yet. Sorry. With no feed ramps in a mac and cheese lower. It's a different mac and cheese because the difference in the 5.7 between 9mm, the mags are very different. But it works in that. So one of the next things that I want to go after once we can do this is let's see if we can do a 5.7 because nothing's more bougie than a 5.7 with carbon fiber.
Yeah. You won't spend your money on the upper, but you'll spend it all on the ammo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Per box. Yeah, so 3D Printed Freedom is totally making bolts for Macs, and Aves is making bolts for Macs.
Okay.
So we got community guys making these bolts and making these barrels. In fact, 3D Printed Freedom sent Durbin, because we were doing the whole Deez Nuts thing.
Yeah.
He sent Durbin his barrel file. Like,
this
is the barrel, right? So it's like, right on, man. So the whole thing
everyone's been super supportive.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
anybody's links. If you want stuff that you want to tell people, hey, I'm selling this over here, I'm selling that over there. I'd love to include that in all the instructions for building it.
Oh, so that's so if anybody wants to be included in the instructions, they could just
As a
reach out to you.
manufacturer, yeah.
Reach
Yeah.
out to you or Durbin, and then they would be on the README, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
we
All
just
those
need
links
their
are there.
barrel dimensions and stuff. Like, yeah, we just need to know what they are so that we know if it works.
Yo, that's cool. Like I think this is like the project we needed, right? A lot of people don't understand that this is like the project that was needed. Like we didn't know we needed it, but we did needed it, and it's coming at a perfect time. So I'm really stoked about this. But I have a question for both of you guys. What is something that you learned working with each other?
I
Zoom,
think
the free Zoom times out in 30 minutes.
Yes.
30 minutes is never long enough. Go ahead, Durbin, man.
I think we think in opposite ways, but it complements each other in like a lot. Like if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like Heywood always underplays it, but he actually did some CAD stuff in college and like understands some engineering stuff way more than I do. At least some certain concepts and stuff. You know what I mean? And he's very generous. Sometimes I don't hit the nail on the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very supportive. We it's almost like in coding there's it's like pair programming is what it's called, but like we almost do like pair CADing because I know Fusion so well. Like I'll just be like kind of like doing what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with you guys think that you guys kind of like I know it's Heywood's baby, right? But you put in work too. So do you feel that just having mutual respect for each other and trusting each other's process, that's what's getting you guys being able to develop this as quickly as you guys have developed it?
I think it's how we communicate, and we've been both very honest with each other and what we want out of this. You know what I mean? Like we both want that this to be as accessible as possible, kind of no matter what that means. You know what I mean? And like we've had multiple discussions about a lot of stuff actually. How many Zoom calls have we done, dude? Like a good amount now. Yeah, like a good amount. Yeah, to the point where he runs out every month.
Yeah, and so the thing is too, like you said, oh, this is Heywood's baby. It's not. It's already gotten far enough. Like, and other people have come along and helped. It's like no, man. It's like loads of people have input and ideas and thoughts. It's like the wisdom of the crowds, you know, a little bit of like, we got so many people. I'm looking at all the people that are on here listening, and I've learned so much from loads of the folks that are on there. It just, dude, like so many people. I don't know what names you are here versus what names you are on Instagram. That's another thing, but I'll tell you, I've learned so much from our community and stuff. It's like so amazing to work with folks and just to get input and insight and have, you know, people that know a lot more than I do able to help out and actually provide that point of view.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that you said what you're saying, because I think a lot of us we realize that we feel like our projects or whatever we create it's our way and it's our vision, right? But we don't realize that sometimes by having input by other people, in reality we're actually making the project better. So it's very interesting that you're saying that you've gotten help from the community, because at the same time it's going to be a project for the community. So it should be a project. If it's going to be a project for the community, it should be a project that also the community has input in it. And I think what you guys are doing, like you and Durbin, I salute you guys. Like it's just amazing to see how you guys are working together, and how you guys are being open and talking to different people, and everybody's having some type of input or some type of part in this project, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's been really awesome.
Yeah, no, and like I've reached out to people, and like the responses I've gotten back, like it's like, can I help with this, whatever. I like that we're not being discriminatory towards anyone's product. It makes the whole process a lot easier. And honestly, we're getting a really good pulse on like the not inconsistencies, but the differences in tolerances by manufacturer with Macs, because they're kind of drastic, dude. It's kind of gnarly.
That's crazy that they're that drastic, correct?
It's not crazy, but like in the machine world, it's pretty big.
Correct.
Yeah. In the machining world, it's like Matt was upset that we were off by a few 35 thou and stuff, and this
and
stuff's
that's like OEM.
it's a quarter inch.
Yeah. Okay. And then I have another question for you guys.
Yeah, shoot.
How long will this be released? Like, do you guys have a time frame, or what where are you at the moment with the process?
Some of this is just where I live. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're in stage 1, dude. Like we're not even like, we're not looking for testers. We're not doing anything. We're still in development, and like we're still zeroing in on ideas a lot. And like, because we're so open to ideas that we're not like, I want to give that some time and let people come forward if they've got input or whatever, like Heywood was saying.
Okay, so you guys heard that. If you guys have any input, if you guys want to reach out, you guys, don't ask crazy questions, right? Like, but just if you guys do want help and you guys got experience, hit them up. Let them know. Hey, what about this or what about that? So at the moment, you guys are just testing the waters, but are you guys like really excited with the result that you got from the community just by testing the waters?
I've had to talk Heywood out of shooting the printed one like 6 times already.
What?
I'm gonna shoot it in my backyard, and I live in like the city.
So I'm like, just wait.
Oh no, I think Trophy says, when is it being released? I think he just got in here. He said next week.
Not even close.
2 weeks.
No.
2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2
and
weeks.
if you know where that's from, you know the joke.
Bro, you're crazy. Okay, so why did you have to talk him out of shooting it, bro?
It's the printed, like, what was that? What were we saying? There was like viable, more viable.
Okay,
most
so like
viable.
we kind of have given these a ranking of like a 1 to 10, right? So
yeah,
I think the printed Trunnion is about a 3 out of 10 because it's it may not work at all. Like, it may not work for a stick like this. Like,
okay,
and that means
shoot. Will it survive?
Right. The next one up is the whole model with the Trunnion, with this Trunnion. I think that the surface area of this Trunnion is enough to actually maintain barrel rigidity. We have a lot of barrel rigidity when we can, weld it onto the box. But when it's sitting actually in the handguard component, is actually strengthening that. That's a different amount of barrel rigidity. I think this one, I give like a 6 out of 10.
okay.
And these are somewhat subjective. The 1776 one has a lot more face area. And that face area can actually be used in here to a pretty good benefit. So I'm giving this one like a 6 or 7 out of 10. And just because
how it works.
It's so Mac, and these lock down actually from both directions. Because see, what you might not understand about the Mac barrel is the Mac barrel, it's not held in. The Mac barrel just screws in. And then in American fashion, you simply drive a pin through those threads, messing up the threads, right? Meshing the threads, cutting the threads a little bit to lock that barrel in. There's no counter rotation, any of that. This concept gives you that counter rotation. So that counter rotation gives you a locking mechanism on that barrel, which I think is potentially superior, especially for bringing it in and out. So I kind of think the Deez Nuts option, because what we can do with printing, what this will give us with some heat isolation, and what it'll give us with, similar to the 1776, larger surface areas that we can actually deal with for taking that pressure. I think we're pretty good. The thing that people don't get a lot of times with Macs is they're like, oh man, I ripped the whole front off before. You realize I've shot this one with this carbon fiber printed more than 1,000 rounds with
Correct.
a carbon fiber printed piece of plastic as the pin. So other than that barrel, the barrel and the barrel integrity in its position is the most important here. This pin isn't holding the gun together. It just isn't in my point of view. So I'd love to hear folks that have different experience, but that's not the weak spot of kind of the design.
And Putang said, "Did I just hear these nuts option?"
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
Standard.
so you think that people blow that pin out, right? You know that because you said yours hasn't. It's been good. You think people blow it up because a lot of people, when they say, "Oh, it's a Mac," they just want to Mac dump them.
I don't know. I'm not a mag dumper, so this is another thing that Durbin and I talked about, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm just not like I with this Suomi, dude. I've shot, you know, you can see like 400 rounds through there. That's as much dusting as those feed ramps have gotten, and it was kind of a meme gun a little bit. I kind of dig it. It's just like insane and crazy, and it weighs a ton.
correct.
But I'm not going to shoot it like every day mag dumping it.
Yeah.
That's not how I shoot my Mac either. You know, I go through a mag or two and like check out the targets and hit some steel or something like that. But
Yeah.
that's how I shoot it. And maybe there's folks out there that shoot it totally differently, and that's cool too because like I got these from 2A3D
Okay.
to like do metal Mac, and you know you can go with that style too and build it. And I believe our aluminum trunnion with this will actually work with all that. So I think that's kind of some cool options.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it like honestly, I think it's a great it's a great option what you guys are doing because whatever flavor mag you want, you're gonna get it. And at the end of the day, like the homie said, bump fire the mag dumps, whatever you want to do, you could do.
Probably don't want
And
to
you
do that
got
with the printed one. I'm just saying, you probably don't want to do that one. Like,
allegedly,
it's your
allegedly.
hands. You know what I mean? Like, it's your hands. Like
Durwood shows lots of really good videos of him shooting that design with the printed upper. I think that you're really dealing with the Mac upper is stopping it back here, stopping this bolt inertia back here. Some people have said, "Oh, you're going to kill the end of this." The end of that never gets hit. So this metal never hits carbon fiber. People are like, you're going to hit the metal.
yeah, it doesn't even.
That doesn't happen. So the bolt itself is actually slamming into the back here with that inertia coming back. The bolt is then slamming into the barrel.
So
those are the two surfaces.
The upper is just like a giant guide rod, like essentially,
Okay.
like it really is. Like that's why the whole carbon fiber tube thing works. You know.
Oh yeah. That makes sense. Let's see.
Yeah, so it's just stopping the bolt here.
Okay.
Stopping the bolt there. And this is an Aves. This is TPU. This is printed.
Damn.
I don't know if you can see that.
I didn't even know that.
Aves prints his. Yeah, he does a really good job too because see, none of these are like pressed or slammed.
Yeah.
So you can actually remove those and do a couple nice things. A lot of times, like the Masterpiece Arms ones are like, you know, turned over in there and they make it more difficult to service it. Let's see if mine is like that.
Let's see.
Yeah, perfect example. See what they did?
Let me see.
Quality.
Oh, okay.
Don't know if I can.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
That's
they're
crazy.
just rounding it off, you know, America.
Yeah. Okay, so
nothing like taking some liberties.
Tire. I think it's a tire.
Yeah, it does look kind of like.
Dude, yeah, what?
That's crazy.
That's like Hirachi style there, Sabr.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, bro. Those are some huaraches right there.
Yeah.
That's it looks like a trucker tire pretty much. That's how they make them.
Some of that playground rubber.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question for you, Heywood. Out of you creating this project and working with all these different parts, what is something that you notice that is very similar with all the parts that you have worked, like one of the regular similarities, and what is something that is very off of each part that you've worked with?
With these like 4 different designs, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So each one is trying to hold that barrel, and each one has kind of a different point of view. I really kind of dig 1776 had a great idea to go, outside here, and I think that was Invader Zip and Digital Nimbus. If I'm leaving anybody out of that, sorry, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I think that was a great idea. The bummer is this changes the geometry on the bottom here. So actually, you can't take that geometry and put it into a standard Mac. Just doesn't fit.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So the original Trunnion is narrow enough to fit down in there, and it fits the geometry. Now you can see we can tighten things up on Middleton's designs quite a bit, but it doesn't fit the geometry. So in true Mac style, it's a little different than everything else. And that's like where that crazy Deez Nuts idea came from, of like, what can we fit in kind of the standard geometry? What could fit actually inside of Metal Mac? Because this won't fit in the Metal Mac either, because it's too wide. So Metal Mac actually needs to have, and what I mean by Metal Mac is it's Mac11 metal welded lower.
Correct.
Right? That won't fit in there either, because it actually has these shoulders right here that intersect that. So that's why the Deez Nuts option we think is a little bit kind of the best.
Shout out to Danny Meatballs, by the way, because he originally said a nut and a sandwich idea, and then I kind of went a little bit further with it.
Oh,
but
damn.
like, dude, yeah, no, this project's got like so many voices in it, man. I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah,
truly.
Because Durbin heard nuts in a sandwich and he thought something totally else.
Yeah, no, I was like, what?
What the hell? Bro. Okay, so what about you, Durbin? Like, what have you learned working? And I know you guys haven't worked that much on the project, but the time that you've spent on this project, what have you learned about the Mac11 design?
The inconsistencies and like the liberties that manufacturers take. Like, there's nothing like they all function, right? But like, it's just like everyone's got their own little flavor that they think is like the fix to the Mac11. And if you ask me, the Mac11 has always worked.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But it's fine. Like, it's just been kind of gnarly to find the inconsistencies and stuff. And like, truly, like even our like the aluminum Trunnion is like, that's different than the spec, but we spec'd it out to an OEM Trunnion, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like even though like the spec is different, that's actually right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and then the other cool part is like community folks are getting involved in a lot of this.
Yeah.
So like I'm seeing, like I think Minnie in the chat here was like, hey, 3D Printed Freedom is doing this and this person's doing that. And I think that's also something that will really, supercharge this. Not us doing it and putting this together, but it's just like, it's another option, so people can kind of jump on and you can match this with whatever parts you can get your hands on wherever you live, and you're good to go.
Yeah, we're trying to build like a catalog of available parts though. So like I said, again, like if you're a manufacturer and you make Mac parts, please get a hold of us. We'd like to put your shit in there.
Or if you know that crazy like back of a magazine, like Durbin found this one of his dad's magazines or whatever. Had this like,
what happened?
Do you need to have a Cobra or this or that? And he found all these cool parts. So they're so like,
it's a weird one-off website that has Mac11 parts in stock.
For real?
Like they're the only ones not affected by like the drought, apparently, of Mac parts.
Damn,
other than Alibaba sourcing these carbon fiber tubes, all of this stuff comes from the States.
That's crazy. Okay, so then one last question I have for you guys is, what do you want to see more of in the Mac11 world? Like if somebody else decides to design a new Mac11, right? What would you like to see, either if a change or no change at all? in your guys' opinion, since you guys have become experts, let's
You go
say?
first, man.
I would say, I want to see someone else approach it like we are, with as inclusive as possible, when it comes to like parts and stuff. Because like nothing's more frustrating than like buying a part and going like, oh shit, this one won't work with like that's happened to me with other firearms that I was trying to build and stuff, and like it's a frustrating thing. So like essentially taking what we're doing and yeah, more nuts. Taking what we're doing and using the knowledge that we're like gathering, like in the future. Like I'd love to see that.
Correct. And what about you, Heywood?
I'll like throw a bomb on this. I think the Mac is a crappy, shitty design. And honestly, like I would love to do this with a Sten gun. I'd love to try this with a grease gun. I'd love to try this with other like tubular things, because like I watched the whole Forgotten Weapons thing on like the AR-15 of like why the buffer tube was there. Durbin and I were talking about this. It's like the buffer was there to like absorb this linear recoil and all this. We're like, crap, man. We need to find stuff that isn't just blowback. And then it has locking lugs, and it's a tubular design. And like, wouldn't that be like, that would be awesome. Like if we could do that. And why not do it in carbon? Because, you know, I got like carbon fiber. Come on.
Heywood doesn't want to have to throw those away.
Yeah.
So we're gonna design another firearm around him.
Crazy,
yeah,
bro.
so seriously too, because a bunch of the other stuff too is how much further can we get with DIY? Could we take, like, that's the amazing thing that dudes are doing. I'm grabbing my my AUG, right? Because what do we look at with this AUG? Why could we DIY that? We could do that because the locking lugs go into the barrel, and that's the part that's actually taking the pressure, right? Locking lugs go into the barrel. Crap, man, what could we do? Could we do a delayed rolling blowback? Could we do, you know, Digital Nimbus has looked at that. A bunch of other people have looked at that. I think DB's looked at that. You know, what could we do? So I'm stoked about the Mac design in all the cool Mac stuff and stuff, but I'm like, where can we go from here? Because my thing is, I don't want us to be impeded by what UPS is going to be able to ship.
Correct.
Or what FedEx can send us. Or
exactly.
Well, that's a gun store by the credit card merchant code.
Correct.
Not Ace Hardware though.
Yes.
Deez Nuts. Yeah. So I think
I just want to say real quick that Heywood's wild and walks into Ace with his barrel and just threading nuts in the fucking hardware aisle.
Bro, I could picture Heywood doing that, bro. Okay, so see, that's what I'm talking about, right? When I got into this community, right, it was talk about everybody should own a weapon, no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, you should be able to have a weapon. And I'm not a lawyer, once again, so don't say Sabr said it. Yeah, Sabar's a retard. If you listen to Sabr, I'm sorry, but you're kind of slow like me too, allegedly. But the nut idea is amazing, right? Because like the more I keep hearing about, and I know people are saying, damn, these guys love talking about nuts in their mouth, right? Or keep nuts in their mouth. But I think I said too much. But that sounds like it's one of the best ways of that you were able to fix something, where you're able to actually get different type of barrels to be able to be adjusted correctly. And now we're saying, like, if you guys could go to Lowe's, Home Depot, or even Ace and buy all your parts, like that's what we want in the community. That's why we came in the community, because we want real do-it-yourself stuff, right? That's my personal opinion, but
yeah, because a lot of people in this community can do that super, super well. So like I have seen some guns put together that I'm like, way different than what I was able to put together. So there's my first working firearm print. I thought the Louis Vuitton thing was just freaking bitching. And this is my first working print. The thing is ugly. Like, you know, man, I submitted a build to those to the We Talk Shit Show guys, and like if I submitted this,
Yeah.
I would be off. But that's my first print. There's dudes that can make these things look amazing, look like
Yeah.
something I do want to buy, not just, make and say, hey, look, I made this. And
And
I think that we can get things that are a lot more DIY there in our
correct.
community. I think we got the smarts to do it, we got the people to do it, and just keep working on these projects. Like, let 1,000 flowers bloom, man, and we see which ones are awesome, which ones people can sign up for and jump on.
Definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better than what you just said, bro. I agree with that. And I think that's why I'm kind
Is that
of
a
happy,
haiku?
right? Like it just flowed, bro. And he just made it off of the spot, bro. And I agree with what you said. And I think what is going on right now, where we're gonna have the JSD Invitational, right? Everybody's making it. Yes, it's a Glock, but these Glocks are becoming to where they look like they are made by a manufacturer. Like these Glocks look like Glocks that you could hold, you could shoot, and they could be your EDCs, right? And I think we don't realize how much we could do if we all work together, right? And
Yeah.
and I agree with what you said, bro. Like I really appreciate you guys being on the show, and I'm really excited to see the Deez Nuts, right, that way, because I think that way is a lot of more people are gonna get involved with that. But you could do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you're a grown ass man. Everybody's grown up, and it's your own money. Be responsible with it, allegedly, but choose whatever route you want. You have any last words, Durbin?
No, just like if you guys want to contribute, like I said, get a hold of us. It's like we're looking for as much input, in at least manufacturer wise for sure. But like if you guys have ideas for the project itself, please get a hold of us.
All right. What about you, Heywood? Any last words you want to let the people know?
Yeah, we will end up doing like a beta on Element so people can jump in and everything. If you just want to be an STL grabber and jump in there and grab stuff, you can. I don't care. If you want to
I'll
get in
wait.
there and help and write stuff, that's awesome too. But yeah, I want to see like each one of these tried out quite a bit before
Yeah,
they go out. Like I said, I
which
got
ones
a
are
bag.
truly viable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's gonna be amazing, right? And make sure that they sign a paper saying if they blow their hands, it wasn't because of you guys.
It's just that
Definitely.
one dude, man. It's like I got a bad taste in my mouth because
Yeah, you are scarred a little bit for
yeah,
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
a little scarred. I bring that up
you
all
were
the
worried about the
time.
nut thing for a minute because of that guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now, not everybody knows about the guy. Would you like to share about the guy, bro?
Yeah, so some of you probably know I've been trying to do this 3D printed bolt thing because these Ruger bolts for a long time were really hard to find. So I have a design that has a tungsten weight back here, and with the weight alone, like this one, yeah, this one has 500 rounds on it. That's what the bolt face looks like with 500 rounds. If anybody's like, "Oh no, the bolt face will totally tear
Yeah,
Holy
away,"
it's honestly trippy.
damn!
that has two pieces of tungsten and it weighs 3.1 ounces. This will shoot CCI subs and Ely 1080s all day. Perfect. Problem is, this is too light to shoot high velocity and standard velocity. If you try to shoot high velocity and standard velocity, the bolt will start moving before the projectile has left the barrel, which will create an out of battery condition,
Hmm.
which will blow up one of these cool little shells. I used to have my little stack of shells here at my printer table. I don't have it right now. In your face, and it will probably blow up the gun.
Yeah.
So the deal is the dude, I link this on Amazon. It's $25 to buy that tungsten piece because, there's three of them. They're pine car derby weights. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, this is what it is. 2 days later, man, you blew up my gun, da 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 da. And it's not, I'm like, what'd you do? I put fishing weights in it.
What?
I'm like, wait, dude, tungsten is 19.3 grams per centimeter cubed. Lead is 11. You're halfway
Long
there,
story
my friend.
short, read the README.
Yeah, read the README. Exactly. So I don't want anybody to blow their face off.
Yeah,
And I know that Pete, not everybody follows directions. I don't follow directions half the time, so that's
yeah,
why
for
this is
sure.
so personal to me. But yeah, so this will be open in a beta. I won't be such a jerk about it there. Hopefully. And hopefully everybody has a great time and it's just awesome stuff and we change the designs a little bit and have a good time.
Yeah, that's great, man. Thank you guys for being here.
Dude, thank you so much for reaching out and
Yeah,
putting all
thank
this
you.
together. I know how hard
Now,
it is to do it.
I mean,
Thanks.
I saw the interview with DLD, right? And when I saw that interview, I'm like, bro, why haven't I reached out to Heywood? Like, yeah, I know me and you have talked, not a lot. Like, I would ask you questions, you would give me advice, back and forth, stuff like that. And then when I saw that interview, bro, I was like, just the way you were explaining things really captivated me. I'm like, man, why haven't I interviewed this guy? So then I'm like, let me reach out to him. And that's when you told me about the project. And then, you said, hey, man, we're working on stuff. Could you wait a little bit? I said, yeah, for sure. Now that I hear more about the project and I understand which way it's going, I mean, it was meant to be, right? Like the timing is perfect. I think this project is gonna be a good project for the community, and I'm excited. I'm super excited to see what happens in the beta. I'm super excited to hear about the drop. So whenever you guys need anything, if you guys want to come back and talk about the drop or talk about anything, you guys are always welcome at Late Nights with Sabr. I really
Thank you, man.
appreciate your guys' work, especially you, Durbin, bro. Like, you know what's up. You're the homie, bro. I know that sometimes I could be like a recluse or a hermit, but you're always there, so it's dope. A lot of you guys that are here at the same time, thank you guys for sticking with me. I really appreciate you guys. But like they said, if you guys have any input, if you guys know anybody that wants to sell kits, parts, whatever, hit up either Heywood or Durbin. Other stuff is linked below, so you could go check out their social media. Heywood has a dope YouTube page. Go check them out. Durbin does a lot of dope designing, so if you guys need help, go check them out. Thank you guys.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. You don't have a Twitter, huh?
I do, but I don't even think I've logged into it, dude.
You don't really go on Twitter, Heywood, right?
No, I'm not on Twitter that way.
Yeah, bro. I just got on Twitter because I ended up becoming part of the Low Point cult. I don't even know how that happened. It just happened. Now I know how it happened. So so it's pretty cool, bro. Okay. So I'm gonna say something real quick. Those Low Point kits, I bought those kits like right when I started in the community. Right. I remember I was trying to find like the cheapest kits I could get into, and I remember it was 1022s at the moment, and then those Low Point kits. And when I saw that kit, I'm like, whoa, it's pretty cool, right? But I'll tell you guys this: those Low Point kits, only print them if you're very experienced in building and have had experience building, because even the regular gun pretty much sucks, but the 3D printed guns are like out of battery magnets, like for real. So
Well,
if you
even the
guys don't
normal
have
ones.
them, yeah, if you guys don't have that much experience, don't buy the kits. They're cheap, but I wouldn't suggest buying it as like a beginner. Buy a Glock, for real. Buy a Glock. Glocks are the best way to go, or even a Taurus kit, but don't buy Low
1022.
Points. 1022s, for real. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'm gonna take you guys out. I'll wait for you guys, and then we could talk for a bit.
Right on. Thank y'all. Thanks everybody in the chat.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys for watching and staying. Thank you to everybody that shows love all the time. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. I don't even know what I have next week, to be honest. I think I might have a couple people lined up for next week. I'll let you guys know by tomorrow. Have a great night.